In this short tutorial, you're going to learn how to give your furniture the popular antique finish using a technique we call the wet distress technique. So the aged look is really popular right now. You might even notice that new furniture that's being designed with this vintage style and often at a premium price. Well, this tutorial is going to show you how easy it is to create that antique finish on your own using the wet distress technique on your old or outdated furniture. And you can do it all for a fraction of the price. Now, the nice thing about the wet distress technique is that you don't have to do any sanding and there's no mess or dust. It's very clean and you can do it even inside. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now using American Paint Company's all natural paint products. So in this tutorial, we've used a small piece of wood baseboard just to show you the steps. If you're still confused as to how distressing works and really, what the steps are, we're going to break that down for you step by step in this tutorial. So step one, we're going to cover the piece completely with your first color choice. And once it's completely dried, step two, we're going to pick a different contrasting color, something more bold, and in this case we'll use the green. So step two is to cover your piece completely with this second color. And step three is to just use a damp cloth to rub off the paint in the detailed areas, which will reveal the base coat. Alright, so let's get started. Step one, we're going to apply your first coat of paint. So in this case, we've used the white color from American Paint Company. It's called Uncle Sam. And we've completely covered the original wood. So you'll want to do the first coat a little bit thicker so that when we get to the part where we're distressing and rubbing off the paint, it doesn't come through to the original color. So step two, we're going to apply the second coat of paint. It's really important that the first coat has dried completely, so you might want to wait an hour or two. Otherwise, when you put the second color on, it's going to smear and blend together. So once it's dry, go ahead and cover your piece completely with the second color. In this case, we've used the green color from American Paint Company, which is Front Lawn. Now, if you cover the second coat and you still see some of the white showing through, go ahead and let it dry here for 5 or 10 minutes and then give it a second coat and make sure it's completely covered so that you're not seeing any of the first color coming through. So what we're going to do is we want that white to start popping through in different areas. So let's gather some supplies together. Let's grab a dish with water in it and a rag, a lint-free cloth. Again, this makes it really nice to use the wet distress technique, so we're not using a sanding distress where you're going to get dust everywhere. Take your cloth and dip it in the dish and go ahead and wring it out. You don't want your cloth too wet or dripping wet because that'll start to smear the two colors together. Instead, you want to dip it in and then go ahead and wring it out and just make sure that it's nice and damp. And then you want to wrap the rag around your finger. That'll give you more control when you start distressing. And just start applying the cloth to distress the piece. And if it's not coming off right away, just apply more pressure and go back and forth in a concentrated area and you'll start to see that paint come out. Now, a lot of people wonder, where should I distress? Well, you can start with the detailed areas. So on this baseboard here, it's just in the areas where there's some raised detail. If you're doing a bigger piece of furniture, you might want to think about where it would naturally be worn and torn. So, around the edges where you kick it, or if it's a chair, where you sit down usually, it's usually a little distressed if it's an old chair. So you want to think about those different areas and the detailed areas and the edges and really start distressing in those areas first, and then you can go from there. There's really no right or wrong way. So I hope this tutorial was valuable for you and helped you understand really what distressing is and how it works. The best part again is that you can create that popular vintage look without paying the big price tag. And with a little bit of practice, it's easy to do a piece of your own furniture, something that you can be proud of. So thanks for watching this tutorial, and if you liked it, go ahead and join us on Facebook at facebook.com/American Paint Company, where we release all our new tutorials. We have a really good community there where there's lots of people sharing other projects and a lot of interaction going on there.